I came back to Genshin about a month ago, and it's been probably the most confusing experience of my entire life. For context, I started playing 2 weeks after release, started losing interest around Sumeru, but just about managed to drag myself to Fontaine solely to pull for Nouvellette. I didn't play for like 2 whole years after, and I went to college and stuff, but as many of you may know, Snezhnaya is coming, which is making many players return to see the region we have all waited 6 years to see. So here's a concise as possible guide that you can either watch or listen to in the background as you butterfly click through all of your missing Archon quests. You can raise your world level to 9. Since Inazuma, they added a subregion called Enkanomiya, which I didn't finish. They added a new area to Liyue called Chinyu Vale, which I also didn't finish. They added Sumeru, Dendro region, and the worst area of all time, with a 10-hour world quest I don't even remember. I just remember wasting 10 hours. In Sumeru is also the Chasm, which I also hated. They added a Hydro region Fontaine, with a quest that is super long and boring, but I don't think it was as bad as Sumeru. Also, Child is in it. However, the Fortress of Morepesok is the most frustrating structure to navigate probably ever. You can also swim in this region in some places. They added a sub-region to Fontaine called Remuria, or Lemuria, except this one doesn't have Raphael. At some point they added a little area onto Mondstadt where you can, for some reason, enter a domain and meet God. I haven't finished this part yet, it's probably important though. They added Pyro Nation Natlin, which is absolutely humongous. MiHoYo also decided the way they were going to make us all pull for the Natlin characters, even though they were weirdly designed in all white, was to give them all the ability to fly. And if you can't fly, exploring Natlin is basically impossible. There's also a vacation area in Natlin that is mostly there for one event that was, I think, like last year, but you can still play the event quest, and I actually do recommend these. There is lots of story for Bennett, the best 5-star in the game. Venti is also there, as his 6-year-long beef with Paimon continues. Finally, they added Nod Cry. I don't know what Nod Cry is. They also added the moon and moon oculi, but the moon is not an element. I'm still lost here. I thought the whole sky was fake, but now we can go to space. They raised the resin cap from 120 to 160 to 200. Also, this took me way too long to realize. Condensed resin is 60 instead of 40 resin now, and if you want to use 40 resin, you can just choose to use 40 resin inside the domain instead of 20 without having to farm a bunch of crystal cores. There are new items that let you make or re-roll artifacts with specific stats you want. I don't know how these work yet because I'm scared. All your 5-stars suck now, besides Bennett. And Chi-Chi is good for some reason. All your 5-stars suck now because MiHoYo added Lunar and Stellar. From what I understand, these are not new elements, you just need specific Lunar or Stellar characters, all of whom just so happen to be the brand new characters that come out every few versions, so they're just forcing you to pull for them. And they made all the new endgame content so hard that you can't complete the hardest levels without it. All your supports use Favonius weapons now. They're the new meta. Everyone has energy issues for some reason. Also because in Stygian, you do not start with your ults. Speaking of Stygian, there's new endgame stuff. There are 2 more things to do in addition to Spiral Abyss that are either slightly funner or a lot less fun, depending on what kind of gameplay you like. There's Stygian Onslaught and Imaginarium Theater. They added Roblox.